I'll say it again, 12/27. November 7th. These aren't your 9/11 type terrorists. These are global terrorists. Like I said, they got large-scale gambling rings to manipulate the masses and people involved with them, with manufactured results to coerce crime, violence, and harm. They use bets, large-scale bets, for threats to intimidate and coerce civilian populations. They've got large-scale platforms for impersonation and using influential people they impersonate to deliver messages and influence people for violence, crime, and harm. They've got implantation weapons to implant people for large-scale espionage and hand-tying, covert violence, covert abuse, as well as trying to compromise people and make people follow orders on command, and via human programming. They've got implantation for economic espionage and other financial crimes. They also have gamma radiation satellites in space and other satellite weapons, implantation weapons in space, and other tools for global terrorism. So these guys are 9/11. These guys are worse than 9/11 type terrorists. These guys are global terrorists. You're gonna lie for global terrorists. You're gonna aid global terrorists in their agendas to rape mankind of their free will through implantation crimes, human programming, covert abuse for compliance, as well as blackmail. You're going to aid these guys. You're going to lie for these guys. Like I said just now, if Osama bin Laden told you of his plan, let's say he was really richer than he where he was, and said, hey, I'm going to fly planes into the World Trade Center. I'll give you a job. I'll give you money, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you women. You'd lie for him and let him murder all these innocent people. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing when you're lying for these kids, Balone and all these kids. Test Tot and all these other psychopaths. That's what you're doing. You're basically lying for people worse than 9/11 terrorists. The people you're lying for people worse than 9/11 terrorists, if you know who these psychopaths are. So let's wake up here. These are global terrorists with a global terrorist agenda. They're not just in Houston. They're not just in Woodlands, New York, California, Dallas, Connecticut. They're people. Some of these people have global contacts, and they're even operating outside of America too. Some of these kids involved with these global terrorist weapons, these global terrorist gambling rings. These implantation weapons, some are in the Arab world, some are in Europe. There's a whole army of these people with no respect for human life who are seeking to rape mankind of their free will, who are trying to manipulate masses with betting results and course crime and harm of various types of people. There are people promoting corruption, violence, and sexual violence. You're going to lie for these people involved with that? Ponder it. Would you lie for the 9/11 terrorists? If you wouldn't lie for the 9/11 terrorists, why would you lie for people worse than the terrorists of 9/11? Wake up.